Flanders, once there was a company of youngsters, haunting vices and ribaldry, rioting and gambling, stews and public houses, where each with harp, guitar, or lute caresses, dancing and dicing day and night, and bold, to eat and drink far more than they can hold, doing thereby the devil's sacrifice within the devil's temple of cursed vice, abominable in superfluity, with oath so damnable in blasphemy. It's of three rioters I have to tell, who long before the morning service bell were sitting in a tavern for a drink, and as they sat, they heard the hanged bell clink before a coffin going to the grave. One of them called the little tavernee knave, and said, "Go and find out at once, look spry, whose corpse it is in the coffin passing by." "Sir," said the boy, "no need, I promise you. 2 hours before you came I was told he was a friend of yours in days of old, and suddenly last night the old man was slain. Upon his bench, face up, dead drunk again, there came a privy knife thief, they call him Death, who kills us around here, and in a breath he speared him through the heart, he never stirred, and then Death went on his way without a word. He's killed 1,000 in the present plague, and sir, it isn't due to be very vague. If you should meet him, you had best be wary. Be on your guard with such an adversary. Be primed to meet him everywhere you go. That's what my mother said. It's all I know. The publican joined in with by Saint Mary. What the child said is right. You best be wary. So the three young rioters ran down the street in search of the renowned Death who killed their friend. However, they first came across an old man who told them about where Death was. But before he did that, he talked about his own life. The old man was miserable every day and every night. He had never had any respite, and even death would not take him in his most perilous of the night. Oh, he complained and wailed, "Mother, open to me soon. Look at me, mother, won't you let me in? See how I wither, flesh and blood and skin. Alas, when will these bones be laid to rest? Mother, I would exchange, but that were best, the wardrobe in my chamber, standing there so long, for yours. I, for the shirt of hair to wrap me in, she has refused her grace. Whence comes the parlour, my withered face? But it dishonoured you when you began to speak so roughly to, sir, an old man. Unless he had injured you in word or deed, it says in Holy Writ, as you may read, Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honour it. And therefore be it said, do no more harm to an old man than you, be now young, would have another do. When you are old, if you shall live until then, and so may God be with you, gentlemen, gentlemen. For I must go whither I have to go. By God, the gambler said, you shan't do so. You don't get off so easy by St. John. I heard you mention just a moment gone a certain traitor Death who singles out and kills the fine yellows hereabout. And yours I, by God, you wait a bit. Say where he is, or you shall pay for it. By God and by holy sacrament, I say you've joined together by consent to kill his younger folk, you thieving swine. Well, sirs, he said, if it be your design to find out death, turn up this crooked way. Towards that grove I lead him there today. Under a tree, though you find him waiting, hasten one to hide for all your waiting. You see that oak far in the distance? And God protect that you redeem mankind and amend you. And off the young men went to the grove of the great oak in the distance. There the three youngsters found three florins lying on the floor, and it was decided amongst them that they shall take this gold for themselves, as they soon forgot about death. They first decided that they must go back to town in order to get some wine and bread for them for the night before they left and carry the goat before they were killed and slaughtered. It was decided by the draw of a stick that the youngest shall go. When he first went to the apothecary where he could acquire some poison. Here he asked the apothecary in town, found an apothecary, and said, "Sell me some poison if you will. I have a lot of rats I want to kill. And there's a polecat too about my yard that takes my chicken and it hits me hard. But I'll get even as is only right, with vermin that destroy a man by night." The chemist answered, "I have a preparation which you shall have, and by my soul salvation. If any living creature eat or drink a mouthful here, he has the time to think. Till he took less than makes a grain of wheat, you'll see him fall down, dying at your feet. Yes, die he must, and in so short a time, you hardly have the time to walk a mile. The poison is so strong, you understand." This cursed fellow grabbed into his hand the box of poison, and away he ran into a neighboring street and found a man who lent him three large bottles. He withdrew and deftly poured the poison into two, and kept the third one clean, as well he might, for his own drink, meaning to work all night, stacking the gold and carrying it away. And when this rioter, this devil's clay, had filled his bottles up with wine all three, back to rejoin his comrade, sauntered he. And so the youngest came back to the camp with some drinks for his friends. And as the oldest, they soon came and did their plan to backstab the youngest. However, their victory was soon short-lived as they drank what was given to them by the youngest. They soon fell ill and fell over, and now none remains and all have died. Cursed sin, O blackguardly excess, O treacherous homicide, O wickedness, O gluttony that lust on and diced, O blasphemy that took the name of Christ, with habit-hardened oaths that pride began. Alas, how come it that a moral man, that thou to thy Creator him that wronged thee, that paid his precious blood for thee and brought thee, art so unnatural and false within? Dear beloved, God forgive your sin, and keep you from your vice of avarice. My holy pardon frees you from all of this, provided that you make the right approaches, that with sterling rings or silver brooches bow down your heads under this holy bull. Come on, you woman, offer up your wool. I'll write down your name into my ledger, so into the bliss of heaven you shall go. For I absolve you by my holy power. You'll make offering clean as the hour.